5 languages the Bible was written in its original manuscripts were all African languages. They are Ge'ez, Egyptian, Amharic, Phoenician, Hebrew, and Aramaic. All of those languages are African languages. Aramaic, when it's written, it's called Syriac. So if I use the name interchangeable between Aramaic and Syriac, I'm speaking of the same book. The Bible was translated 1,000 years after it was written from the Old Testament for the first time into the European language of Greek. The Greeks were the first whites to come in contact with the Africans in Egypt, Ethiopia, and Nubia. And at that time, they were still barbaric and they came to learn. We must understand that Egypt, Ethiopia, Nubia were the citadel of world learning during those days. So when the Greeks were first coming down, they were coming down as students to learn. What they were amazed at is when they saw the original manuscripts that were written, they wanted to have them translated so they could take them back to Europe. So what we tried to do is give you an understanding of the first 5 languages that the Bible was written in. The Greeks on stage B wrote a version called the Septuagint version in the year 285 BC. And it was translated from that time from Hebrew to Syriac to Greek. Okay? The next translation of the Bible was number C, was the Samaritan Pentateuch. The Hebrew to Samaritan was the Pentateuch. The Samaritan is also an African language. The next copy was the earliest translated from Hebrew to Syriac to Greek. And that was early copies, Codex Sinaiticus, AD 330. The last and final translation from a foreign language to a European tongue was into Latin. The Latin was the Vulgate. Vulgate came about around 400 AD when right about the name of Jerome went to Jerusalem to translate the whole Bible and all of the manuscripts into Latin. So Latin, the Bible became Latin 400 AD, 400 years after Christ. From the time of Christ, from the time of the Vulgate all the way up to 1611, the Bible was all in Catholic Latin all over Western Europe and Northern Europe. The English began to make a struggle against the Catholic lords of the church from the year 1380 to 1611 for a Protestant Bible. So in this brochure, what I have is number 1, Wycliffe Incomplete, from 1380 to 1525. The next attempt at an English Bible was a Coverdale, number 3, in 1535. The next attempt was Matthew's at the Matthew's Bible in 1537. The next attempt at an English Bible was the Great Bible of 1539. The next attempt was the Geneva Bible of 15.